What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Arch coming at you with another series of videos. This time it's going to be guide type videos on role-playing your Jedi characters in the Fantasy Flight Star Wars role-playing game. So the first video I have for y'all, something near and dear to my heart, something I always have a great attraction to, especially in any type of Star Wars role-playing situation, and that's going to be the lightsaber. Obviously, it's an iconic symbol of the Star Wars films, and you know, to me, there's nothing I would rather do than play a Jedi. So, you know, the lightsaber is the weapon of a Jedi. Okay, so I have a few notes here, a little breakdown of some topics I'd like to cover. This is going to be a basic video. I might have some other videos that'll be more comprehensive, but this is just sort of an overview and give you some tips and guides on how to really use the lightsaber and related things and tie it all together and make your character really make it really a part of your character that really helps you sell and helps you really enjoy and roleplay that character, and people be like, oh yeah, okay, there's some flavor there. So the first thing I want to talk about is the crystal. Obviously that's going to dictate the color of the blade, but more than that, if you've ever got into any of the lore of Star Wars, you know that the crystal is sort of a part of the Jedi, sort of in the way that a samurai's blade has the soul of his ancestors. It's not exactly the same thing, but the crystal is like an amplifier of the Force, so to speak. It bonds to the Jedi who finds it, and especially if most of these discussion videos are going to be based upon Jedi of the Order. So, you know, usually if you're going to be role-playing them in the Fantasy Flight games in the group Tides of Change, where I play most of my games online, you know, that's going to be post the Order, post Jedi time. So you're going to have to be some kind of fallen or in hiding type Jedi if you're going to be using these tips. Or you'll have to find a game that's set in a time where Jedis are more common. But nevertheless, what I'm talking about now is the Ilum crystal, because it comes up a lot of time in games that people say they've played maybe Knights of the Old Republic, and they're, oh, you know, I want this color crystal, I want this color crystal. Let me add my flavor with this color crystal. So, this is my opinion on colored crystals. The color of your lightsaber crystal. If you want something that's not green or blue, because those are the ones that come from Ilum, where you probably got them in the most common lightsaber crystal type. If you want something that's not green or blue, you need to have it needs to be a part of your character. There needs to be strong reasonings in your personality and your you know, it needs to be there needs to be a reason for that. For example, Mace Windu has the purple lightsaber because he walks the line between dark and light. He is a specialist in a form. We'll get to the forms a little bit later in this video. In Form 7, which is called Juyo, and it basically, what it does is it creates a feedback loop of dark side energy. So if you can't resist the dark side energy that you accept and send back, you'll fall. So many people who have studied Juyo fall to the dark side. It's basically, some people have postulated, like homeboy Jin Sarai, you should check out his videos on forums. He postulates that it was a plant, that the Jedi Order only has this form because the Sith sort of made it to make Jedis fall. So I mean, yeah, it's a dangerous technique, and that's represented. I mean, his mastery of that technique is represented by his lightsaber. It's not just something, oh, you know. Yes, actually, it is just something, you know, Sam Jackson was like, well, I'll need something so I can see myself on the fucking screen. George Lucas, can I make my shit purple? And George was like, okay, Sam Jack, you're a baller. I'll give you that. But there is canonical reasons for that makes it fit in. And you know, you don't want to just throw something in just because you want to be cool. You want to, I mean, it's not like you can even fucking see it on the screen anyway, okay? There needs to be story reasons for these choices. And if you don't have story reasons for these choices, I'm very much less inclined to give you that, because if your only flavor is, oh, you don't have this colored lightsaber, I'm feeling like, oh, he's just going to turn his lightsaber on all the time and just cut down everyone, and that's not really the joint, man. So the other topic I want to discuss in regards to lightsaber crystals is, do you adhere to new canon or old canon in regards to the color? Because they just recently came out with the idea that kyber crystals are That's the name of all crystals. So it's not just one that's a Kyber and then another one is a different type of crystal. Other things can be used for crystals, but all the crystals are Kyber crystals. Okay, so anyways, just move along. This terminology is just, that's what's up. The new canon is, in order to give that crystal color, a Jedi meditates upon it, and then in reaction to his interaction, perception, his connection to the Force, how he uses and interprets and connects with the Force, it comes out a certain color. And that's another reason why I'm very leery to give people colored crystals, because I kind of like that idea where, you know, it takes on your proper color when you connect to the crystal. Old canon is you found a crystal of a certain color and that's the color of your crystal. That's what's up with that. So, you know, there's certain cool things about that. I feel like you can take at pretty much everything cool about that and put it in the new canon, and it just adds more levels of flavor. So, one more quick thing I'm just going to throw in about, I'm not going to go into depth, I'll probably make a whole separate video for this, is the finding of the crystal within Fantasy Flight's role-playing games. And if you're making it a core aspect of gameplay for your characters to get a lightsaber crystal and find it in the game, and they're, you know, harvesting it, if they're just not finding it off someone as like a loot drop, you know, play that shit up. Play it up hard. Force connections and sounds and visions and stuff like that, because it's a big deal. And I just recently rewatched a Clone Wars episode where some younglings go to harvest their crystals, and they, in that episode, they pointed out that one of the younglings was like, "Oh, dude, do you see that light?" And the other guy was like, "No, like, that's your crystal." That's what they said. Like, we won't, you know, it only shines for you. So, you know, you can play that up and really make it a big deal. And that will add a lot of value to this. So now we're getting, I need to make my shit not make noise, baby. That is booty boo. So, okay, let's move along. The last thing I want to mention about crystals is when you add it into your hilt in the Fantasy Flight system, you get a free attachment. In my reading of the rules, you can use that free attachment for, it doesn't have to be, I'm tripping. Okay, so the free, it's not a free attachment, it's a free mod on the crystal attachment. So the basic crystal, the Ilum crystal, I'm pretty sure most people just take the one that lowers the crit rating. So instead of 2 advantages to roll a crit, you only need 1. So, you know, keep that in mind, because you can synergize your construction efforts on your hilt to make a really potent blade that fits your style. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Is I'm not recommending that you only take the critical reduction. I'm just saying that's probably the most common one. But I am saying that try to synergize your modification choices, because you're only going to be able to do so many. It's very limited on the funds that you'll be able to do, and then eventually the difficulty is just going to be so high you're not going to be able to do it. And you're going to break your saber, and you're going to have to start over. So, you know, have a plan of 2 or 3 mods that you need to make your saber function how you want it, and then get it built out and stick with that. That's all I'm going to say about the hilt modifier and attachments. I do want to touch briefly on this video, is creeping up, but I do want to touch briefly on the forms. I am going to make supplement videos about each form and discuss how you can incorporate the specifics of the form into your character's roleplay. But for now, let's just talk about the overall broad things, you know, taking that form and putting it into your roleplay. If you look through the player's handbook, the main book, you'll notice that all of each career has a specialization inside of it that changes your lightsaber's combat stat to a different attribute. So you can really play that up in terms of roleplay, and that can really help you know what choices you need to make in terms of how you portray that character. So, for example, if you choose, I build a few characters that have had the specialization, the Makashi specialization, because I like to do presence type characters. That changes your lightsaber stat to presence. So, you know, and the poster boy for that form is Count Dooku. And if you look at his fights, he has that very intense presence. So, you know, you can take those types of things, you know, aspects of your form, and work them into your role play, and that can really help you flavor your character in an interesting way. And the other thing about the forms I want to just quickly bring up is make sure that you if you choose one of those forms as your career specialization, which I would suggest if you want to have a character that has any type of focus on lightsaber combat, just because you get free points. Number one, it's the easiest way to get a free lightsaber skill, and number two, they have the highest amount of parries or reflex or things that make your lightsaber combat more effective and fun to use in the system. So, you know, use your form to flavor how you describe your combat. Make it more cinematic. So if you are a Makashi person, like a Dooku, you know, describe how you stand up straight and you keep one arm behind you and you keep your one sword, you know, close. And every block that you make it's not big, because you use efficient minimalistic movements. Okay, so you can describe it like that, and each cut and parry and poke that you do, you know, you can describe it in a way that is informed by your Makashi form. I mean, to overuse form. Okay, and another thing, a quick note on cinematic combat and Jedi combat in general is, you know, you're gonna want to try to get lightsaber skills, obviously, but you know, I've seen some people when they build their Jedi characters, they'll take blaster skill or melee weapon skill, and I feel like you're really missing an opportunity to role play your character and really embrace what makes a Jedi. Now, if the blaster is an important part of your character and there's a reason for that, cool. I mean, that's straight. Kyle Katarn loves the blaster, baby. I mean, it's a part of his character. It's a thing that it's an item that he's bound to. It's important to who he is. So, you know, you need to know how to use that. That makes sense. But I advise people who are trying to play of the Order Jedis to take Brawl, because it fits the style of combat that Jedis make, that Jedis do. You know, they punch, they grapple, they kick, they want to subdue you. They don't want to kill you if possible, and the lightsaber is a brutal weapon. I mean, if you attack someone with a lightsaber, chances are you're trying to kill them. And as a Jedi, you don't want to kill people. What, I mean, why am I? No, well, I don't kill people just willy-nilly. That's completely. That's not even in my train of thought. You know, so take advantage of the other combat skill, especially Brawl. Don't just have your lightsaber be your main always go-to. There's in-canon reasons in the main Star Wars continuity that we play in where you don't want to pull it out just because it's too much trouble. It's danger. It brings danger to you. But more importantly, in my mind, is the fact that why would you even want to pull that blade in the first place? Because it's a Eastern martial art tradition that you use escalation of force. So unless someone's coming at you with something that you need a lightsaber to defend, why would you use that? I mean, that's just my personal opinion, but I also feel like it's the Jedi mentality. So, you know, you can use that to color your roleplay as well. And the last thing I would like to say, especially in regard to the forms, is use your career specialization form choice, if you choose one of those, to color your force power selection. Okay, so if you choose Ataru, you definitely want to get enhanced. Just get enhanced, because in order to cinematically describe your combat as an Ataru specialist, you're going to want to flip and jump and leap. And you need enhance to make sure you pass those checks. That's why Ataru works as a Jedi form, is because they use enhance for it. It's like a requirement. Same thing with Niman. If you want to choose Niman as your specialization, take the move power. Once you get to the top of the Niman specialization tree, there's a thing that lets you combine a move attack with your lightsaber attack. Well, if you don't have move, Sorry, you you don't take that. Don't take that. Don't spend your XP on that. There's another one in there that allows you to draw close, and you don't need the move power to do that. So I mean, if you don't have move and you're a Demon specialist, go ahead and grab that. But you know, use these forms and choose your force powers to motivate and influence your role play. Okay, so for example, my character here in the Ashes to Ashes campaign, he has the sense mind power because he's a communicator, he's a face, he's a negotiator. It makes sense for him to naturally have that ability. That, I mean, he was already good at talking and communicating and getting people to do what he wanted, maybe because he already had that power latent, and then it came to more fruition and he learned to use it. So I mean, those are things that can really help your role play, and you know, your choices can make, if your choices make sense for your character, it's easier to role play. It makes more sense for everybody involved, and it really makes a cohesive character that, you know, people can relate to and make sense, and they'll like your character more, and you'll probably like your character more if he has a theme, for lack of a better word. You know, if there are lots of connections between everything in him, like a person has. I mean, you built who you are based on all your collective experiences. One thing didn't just make you one way. It was everything in the past that colored your reactions to that thing that made you what you are from it. So this is getting very complicated. This is getting very philosophical and everything. So we're going to wrap this video up now. I appreciate you guys bearing with me in this kind of rambling type video. I hope you got something from it. I know there's a lot of really experienced role players in the group, and hopefully you didn't start this video and be like, oh man, this guy's booty as fuck, he's not saying anything. You know, maybe that's true. I am going to have some more in-depth videos. And please leave me some comments down below. Let me know what I can do to improve, what content I could drop off. You know, like, oh, everybody knows that, but you know, give me some constructive criticism, because I'm new to these guide type videos. This is pretty much off the cuff. I do have a little bit of notes here, just so I don't, you know, get too far off track. You know what I'm saying? I gotta bring it back in, because I can go off on a train that's pretty fucking long, a train of thought. So anyways, thanks a lot for your time here on this video. Comment, like, subscribe, and check back for this series. It'll be coming out probably once a week, until we have a lot of videos on the channel that can really help you improve your role play. That's what we're trying to do here with these series. So thanks a lot. I'll see you guys later. It's your boy Arch.